on to the NCAA tournament, and March Madness continuing here from Cameron Indoor Stadium. The Cornhuskers in red, the Baylor Bears in gold, the 6th seed here in Durham. Britt Prince gets an open look to start things off, rolls up and hits the top of the backboard out of play. Let's take a look at our starting lineups, brought to you by Capital One. For Baylor, Kelly mentioned Talia Scott, number 0. Watch out for her, 20 points per game for the redshirt sophomore, playing at her first NCAA tournament. Ariana Littlepage Buggs, Bella Fauntleroy, a real base of this team. Jana Van Geitenbeek, also a veteran in the lineup, as Littlepage Buggs has the first points. Starting 5 for Nebraska, we told you about the fabulous sophomore Britt Prince. Amaya Hargrove, also another really talented sophomore in the starting 5. Callan Hake, senior guard, put up 14 points in the win on Wednesday.
And it's the age-old debate, Jen. Would you have preferred to play on Wednesday, have already played a game, played in this building, played well, Nebraska hit 11 threes, or do you want the rest like Baylor? We'll see how that plays out in this matchup.
Kirsten Johnson working with her left hand. Senior transfer from Oklahoma, spent the last 3 years there, but you watch Nikki Collin work on the sideline, her 5th season as head coach. You talk to these Baylor players, they love to play for this woman. And the system that she has brought, as Talia Scott told us, guards flourish in this system, and she wanted a part of that. Bella Fauntleroy, the senior, she's been at Baylor all along, all Big 12 defensive team this year, fired up after that bucket.
Baylor's size is going to be a problem for Nebraska. And Littlepage Buggs scores on the first possession. They go inside to Bella Fauntleroy, a 6-foot player who plays the 3 for them. She has impressive size on the perimeter. We'll see how Nebraska can deal with it. I think you're going to see Maupin come off the bench. You're going to see some Petrie, because these Baylor bigs, they're formidable.
Nikki Collin talked about this Nebraska team and how much respect she had for the way that they run their offense, that they get in a rhythm. Her goal for her team, be disruptive. Get them out of that rhythm. Don't let them have that first pass they want to get into their actions. Takeaway here as Prince goes down. Then Geitenbeek passes it off. Littlepage Buggs can't get that one to fall through. Hargrove gonna have to be a big presence inside, as is Petra Bojan. Passes it back here to Prince.
You need that second score in addition to Britt Prince, and it's got to be Amaya Hargrove for Nebraska. She was a bit quiet against Richmond. She's got to look to score today.
Van Geitenbeek short on her 3-point attempt. 36% 3-point shooter on the season. There's Prince. What a handoff there. Good pass to Bojan, who just can't finish. Another shot from deep. This goes through. First points in the game for Talia Scott.
Coach Nikki Collin loves the way Talia Scott can score. When she went in the transfer portal, Coach Collin felt like it was a perfect fit with Talia Scott, who only played 3 games at Auburn last year due to injury. But her freshman year at Arkansas, she showed how she could score the ball.
Prince, I feel that, Kelly. I appreciate it.
Not that we need it, it's March. We're thrilled to be here. We got another good one. Just had Duke take down Charleston earlier, and now some Baylor, Nebraska.
Duke awaits the winner of this one. Nebraska has been a popular upset pick by some, but this is no easy task. You can just look at the players on the floor. You talked about the size difference. I mean, Baylor brings it at so many different positions. Nebraska is going to have to play big.
Absolutely, and with Baylor, they were known for their defense, at least for most of the season. Their first 25 games, they were so much better defensively than they have been their last 7. So if they can channel that defensive urgency against Nebraska, you may see a look at that Baylor team that we saw early in the year that was ranked so highly in the polls.
first points of the game from the free throw line for the senior Ncaa. And if ever you wanted an indication of what it looks like to be a senior playing in March, you watch number 14 out here, because she showed that in the first 4 with her 14 points, knocked down 4 of her 5 3-point attempts.
Baylor is trying to go to that Fauntleroy matchup. Whichever Nebraska guard draws Fauntleroy, they're trying to exploit that because of her size at 6 foot, playing the 3 for Baylor.
Kennedy Williams, Amy Williams' daughter, who's a redshirt freshman on the team, applying some defensive pressure there. You notice her right away. She does all those little things that you would expect from a coach's kid.
She also plays for the softball team, which is wild. Scored a run last weekend when the basketball team had a break between the conference tournament and the NCAA tournament. Just threw on her softball uniform, pinch run, get on the board.
Cross home play. Under 10 here. Hargrove from distance is good. 40% three-point shooter. She's relied upon to be an inside presence, but she can knock him down too.
Very capable from beyond the arc. She had 23 in Nebraska's loss in the Big Ten tournament to Indiana. They need that second punch. That's a very good sign.
Ten to shoot here as Scott forced to pick up her dribble. Little Paige Buggs looks out to Johnson, off the mark on 3. Hake uses the shot fake. Huskers swinging around. Good look there for Hargrove. Talia Scott, averages 20 per the bench. And Richmond came in as the team stealing the headlines with their three-point shooting, number 2 in the nation in terms of three-point makes per game, over 10 for the Richmond Spiders. But look, Nebraska said, you know what? We shoot it pretty well too, and then they did to that NCAA tournament record, 11 made threes. And it always helps when you step into a gym, right, Kelly? And the first time out there, you're seeing the ball fall through that well. Van Guytenbeek. Short again. Baylor has struggled to get one to go. 4 from 3 to start this game.
That's been another issue for Baylor over their last 7 games where they've gone 3 and 4. They've struggled from 3, and it's been a combination of Fauntleroy and Van Guytenbeek. Those are their 2 best three-point shooters, just from a volume standpoint. And Coach Nicki Collen was telling us they need to see some of those threes go down today against Nebraska. And Fauntleroy, I love how aggressive she's been from the jump. She's been up and down this year, but a couple games ago had 16 points against K-State. Coach Collen was saying, hey, maybe that's the breakout game heading into March.
She has 5 already. Senior for the Bears, playing in her 8th NCAA tournament game. Hake has her first triple of the day.
Hake loves Cameron Indoor. She's team 2 years ago, continuing to recruit really well and picking up Talia Scott in the transfer portal. She has that level of talent that we're used to seeing from some of those great Baylor guards on the national championship teams.
Little Paige Buggs now with 4 points for the Bears. And you can bet Baylor will be looking to get Scott going early. She's struggled as they have struggled in their last couple of games, coming off back-to-back losses into the regular season, and then in the Big 12 tournament quarterfinal against Colorado. Kyla Abraham, redshirt junior out of Carrollton, Virginia, off the bench on the glass for the Bears. But Scott shooting just 25% over her last couple of games. That's going to be an offensive foul on Little Paige Buggs, her first.
Nebraska known for taking charges. Callan Hake, their senior, has taken 33 charges, which is ridiculous. That time Petrie draws the charge. And Nebraska a bit undersized. These Baylor posts are really athletic, but that's where you have an advantage. If you can get your angles right, set your feet, take a charge, Nebraska can be effective against these bigs.
And they have players like 6'2" Petrie coming in off the bench. Also, you mentioned Eliza Maupin. She had missed the last 3 games due to an ankle injury before her appearance in the first 4. At least a couple minutes there, just 5. We'll see if she has a bigger presence here in this first round matchup.
And she's out there right now, number 21 in red.
Trying to set a screen for Prince, who picked up her dribble. 5 to shoot for the Huskers. Logan Nisley realizes it. Mopping in there, fighting for the rebound, but it goes to the Bears.
Nebraska cannot get in a one-on-one battle with Baylor. They're not going to win that. They've got to move the ball, share the ball, and knock down some threes to open the floor.
And they'd love to get out and run. Open up a little space for Prince in transition. Baylor recovering quickly. Haley Weaver out to Maupin. Nebraska just 2 of 11 to start the game. Hanging in there though. Baylor has taken 6 threes. They've yet to hit 1. They've hit some inside, but haven't had that outside presence start to fall just yet. Look at that effort on the glass. Still another one. I mean, this possession just continues for Little Paige Buggs, and Baylor, who are putting on an offensive rebounding clinic.
Missed a few shots, but that's okay. If you continue to rebound, you're going to eventually convert. 4 offensive rebounds for Baylor so far in this game. Now 5 after that possession.
3 players coming in off the bench for Nebraska. Amy Williams sensing something needs to change the way that this one has started for her team. Hargrove back out there. Hit a 3 for Nebraska earlier this quarter. But it's been nearly 3 minutes for Nebraska without a point. This is a player I know you're really excited to watch, Kelly. Yuting Dunn, the Auburn transfer, sophomore out of China, so much potential.
One of the most talented players in the Big 12, just from a pure talent standpoint. Continuing to adjust to the college game, was at Auburn last year, was on the all-freshman team, but she can absolutely score. She had 22 points against Texas Tech this year, can shoot the 3 as one of the purest strokes that you'll see. And Nikki Collin excited about what she can do offensively, still learning maybe the expectations for her defensively, but that's why that Baylor bench got so excited when Dunn just forced that turnover, denying that pass.
She's got another open look for 3. That is beautiful.
She can blow a game open.
On her remaining confident, because yeah, her shots haven't fallen the way she'd want the last couple games. As she said, she tried to just get in the gym, get back in a rhythm, and she said, if I'm in a game and I let my confidence drop, that is selfish to do that to my teammates.
Exactly, because Talia Scott commands so much attention, and that attention she commands opens things up for her teammates. And she knows how much her team needs her to score. She's the 2nd leading scorer in the Big 12, averaging 20 a game. She has to approach every single shot with the mindset that it's going in.
Second personal foul whistled there on Little Paige Buggs for Nebraska. Well, the Huskers need to get working on this end. Nisley, that'll help, right?
The 3 ball will help, and they continue to shoot it well like they did against Richmond. But Britt Prince, she only has 2 shot attempts, and she has 3 turnovers. Baylor has been hounding her, but Nebraska still has to put the ball in her hands and let her make plays.
Fauntleroy going one-on-one against Hargrove. Prince has it in her hands now. Local kid from Omaha, Nebraska, grew up loving this Big Red program. Amy Williams has basically watched her grow up and now loving getting the opportunity to coach the sophomore. Prince driving to the basket, and it gets stuck.
What is that called, Jim?
Well, I like to call it a wedgie.
I think that's the correct term.
Is that the official terminology?
That's the technical term. That was really good defense, by the way, by Kyla Abraham. Baylor switched that. They had the faith in Kyla Abraham to be able to stay in front of the really quick guard in Britt Prince, and Abraham at 6'3" does a fantastic job of getting in a stance and guarding Prince, forcing a missed shot. That's impressive.
Bears back in possession. Up 8 here in the first quarter. Final few seconds ticking off the clock at Cameron Indoor Stadium. Scott has it in her hands. Takes a deep 3. And that is how quarter one comes to a close. Nebraska this year averages 79 points per game on the season. Put up 75 in the win against Richmond in the first 4 on Wednesday. Bojan had it tipped away, certainly affected by Fauntleroy.
Fauntleroy's come to play. She's had her hands everywhere, offensively, defensively, being aggressive. It's that senior urgency from Fauntleroy. Her, Little Paige Buggs, Kirsten Johnson, Van Geitenbeek, they understand that if they don't win today, they're done. And you can see that urgency from them.
Last year, the Bears, a 4 seed in the NCAA tournament, got the host in Waco, but wound up being upset in the second round by Ole Miss. So this senior group you just talked about looking to leave a better taste in their mouths as far as the postseason is concerned.
But of course, Jen, they were happy to see me, because when Baylor upset Virginia Tech 2 years ago in Blacksburg, I was there calling those games. And what I remember specifically between Sarah Andrews, who was fantastic, who graduated, but Bella Fauntleroy as a sophomore in that NCAA tournament was really good. Super aggressive, hitting threes. Let's see if she can channel that in this tournament, her last.
Hargrove working around Dunn, can't get it to fall.
Good job by Hake, the awareness of finding Dunn in transition, because you know she wanted to let that fly.
The double team coming over, but not in time. You said Helen Hake has a school record 33 charges taken this season. Didn't get herself set, picks up the foul.
I want to take another look at this with Callan Hake. The rule is she has to be set before Fauntleroy leaves the ground. I think she was there. I was surprised they didn't call that a charge. I thought for sure they were going to call that a charge. And Callan Hake now has 2 fouls, trying to take 2 charges.
And remember that mark you see on the floor, the restricted area, that does not count in the women's game. It does not come into play. It's exactly as Kelly just told you. She just has to get that defensive position established in time. So Hake on the bench with 2 fouls. And a foul against Baylor that sends Logan Nisley to the ground.
On a moving screen on Abraham, which freed up Dunn for a wide open look, but it's obviously some contact. Yeah, you can't step into her. You cannot step into the defender from a screening position. It's a good call by the official.
Nisley back on her feet, a junior from Bismarck, North Dakota. This Big Ten all-freshman team a couple of years ago. Certainly a sharpshooter ever since she stepped foot on campus. Leads this Nebraska team to 63 made threes on the season, including one earlier today. Prince working hard, trying to shake the defense, but Baylor's just been all over it. Hasn't given number 23 in red any room to breathe. Van Geitenbeek nearly lost it, eventually did. Not for lack of effort from Fauntleroy. Prince now looking to get to the basket. Tough shot. They've all been contested, except maybe one open look early on that she had.
She's going to have to finish through contact. Baylor's doing a good job of being physical with her. A shot like that, it felt like that was one of her better looks of the day.
Prince 0 of 4 to start this game. 22 points in the first 4 games on Wednesday for Nebraska. Huskers bringing some defensive heat, and it is a tie-up. It's going to stay with Baylor under the basket, just 3 seconds on the shot clock.
On that play, Fauntleroy needs to pump fake inside to Abraham and hit Dunn. Dunn was wide open. Nisley had come down to help. If you pump fake or even just look at Abraham, swing that ball to Dunn, she's got a wide open 3.
Still looking for our first points of the second quarter. Their team Yet to score, and after a bit of history when you come to a place like Cameron Indoor.
And Nebraska, they're going to try to move their home games here. They're 4 for 8 from 3. The way they've been shooting the basketball, 11 for 22 from 3 on Wednesday night in this building, 4 for 8 this afternoon.
Yeah, keeping the Huskers in it, and that pass had a little more zip on it. Petrie could have had an even better look. She was wide open. Nebraska had caught Baylor a little slow getting down the floor, didn't take advantage of it. Now everybody on the floor.
Look at the hustle, too. Just putting your body on the line. Kennedy Williams, known for that heart and hustle, comes up with a loose ball.
Now this is what March is all about. You lay it on the line, a battle heel trying to keep your team alive in March.
No one wants to go home. They want to keep playing loose ball, bodies on the floor. Coach's kid comes up with the ball.
A couple of coach's kids out there. We told you Kennedy Williams is the daughter of Amy Williams, the head coach. Britt Prince, also the daughter of a head coach, played for her mom, won 4 state championships in high school. She has an open look here. Prince, clean hit. Still coming up empty. You know that's going to have to change if you're Nebraska, but she's keeping her calm out there.
The 3 ball's been very good to the Huskers, right? 4 for 9, but they've been so reliant on the 3, as you see Britt Prince's mom, her coach in high school. Nebraska has yet to score in the paint. It's been all the 3 ball and then 2 free throws. They've got to find a way to score in the paint and enable them to continue to get good looks from 3.
Petrie picking up her 2nd foul on that last play. And she has 2. Callan Hake back in the game now. She also has 2 for the Huskers.
How about the trust from Amy Williams to put her senior back in, Callan Hake, with 2 fouls. And we still have 6.5 minutes to go till the half.
Scott, neither team's leading scorer has been able to get going yet. It's had to be others stepping up so far. Scott has an open look on the baseline. That could be just what she needs.
That was such a good pass, too, from Jana Van Geitenbeek to find Scott. And the defense was behind because of the pass. Talia Scott gets to the rim.
Hake. Williams open for 3. Prince
Can do that, and only 2 in the tournament. Britt Prince and Gianna Neepkins from UCLA.
Talk about being an efficient scorer. These numbers certainly back that up. .14 on the shot clock and a turnover force. Kirsten Johnson doing the work defensively.
These Baylor bigs have been really effective defensively, playing out of position, playing on the perimeter.
Scott got herself what felt like a comfortable look. 34% three-point shooter on the season, but that one rattles out. She's got 4 points in the game so far, and 2 of 6 shooting, 0 of 4 on her 3-point attempts.
As good as Talia Scott is, the last 2 games, you've mentioned it, she still has had 14 plus in the last 2, but she's 3 for 19 from 3 coming into this game. So now 3 for 23 from the 3-point line over her last 2 games in this one.
Nisley coming off the screen. She's got 8 for Nebraska. And finally, the Huskers able to hit something other than a 3. You said they were going to have a little bit and a little more. Speaking of getting them in, that's the 3rd triple by Nisley. Man, the 3 keeping the Huskers alive.
Nisley may be coming for that number set by Taryn Barbeau, and we know Nebraska, they have a disadvantage in the paint in a game like this. They're going to have to make 3s, and they're doing just that. 5 of 11 from beyond the arc.
Dunn has been the only one consistently hitting. In fact, the only one to make a 3 for Baylor on the other end. She's hit a couple of them.
And Talia Scott's been quiet. 4 points for her, 2 for 6 from the floor.
A little too much on that skip pass from Hake, goes out of bounds. 6th turnover.
Nisley is my favorite type of basketball player, Jen. A sharp shooter. She's ready to let that ball fly. If she gets a sliver of daylight, she is letting that thing go.
Three-time North Dakota State Player of the Year in high school, also a really good volleyball player. Denali Jr. with the Cornhuskers. Showing off that pretty stroke. Baylor got a decent look from the ACC logo there from Van Geitenbeek.
Van Geitenbeek has had some open looks. Nebraska knows she's a pass-first point guard. They're giving her some of those looks. She's got to knock those down and keep the defense honest.
Boy, what a sequence there for Hargrove. She drives in, misses, gets her own layup, and then just has it battered away out of nowhere. A little out of control as Talia Scott goes flying into the basket, manages to draw the foul. You said what a great free throw shooter she is. Over 90% on the season. She'll head to the line.
Talia Scott is so hard to guard in a one-on-one situation. Quick first step, can get to the rim, crafty at the rim, can also shoot the mid-range and the three. This is her first trip to the free throw line, but she needs to continue to be aggressive for Baylor.
McDonald's All-American in high school out of Florida. Started her career at Arkansas, where she was a member of the SEC All-Freshman team. Transferred to Auburn last year, as Kelly mentioned earlier. Played just 3 games before injury, and when we talked to her yesterday, we said, must feel like a long time coming to make this NCAA tournament debut, and she said, yes, indeed.
Did she just miss 2 free throws, Jen?
Well, that is some kind of against the number odds there.
She's a 90% free throw shooter, best free throw shooter in the Big 12, and she's walking a little gingerly. That was a tough landing when she drove and attacked and got fouled. I don't know if that affected her free throws, but something to keep an eye on.
Without being able to look through all 210 free throw attempts, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that may be the first time that's happened all season, that she's gone to the line and missed both.
Agreed.
Kennedy Williams getting called for the foul here. A lot of contact there as Baylor trying to get it inbounds. Her second personal. 4th team foul. The next one would put Baylor on the free throw line.
And Kennedy Williams is just, she's that pest. She's that type of defender that is annoying in a good way if you're on her, if she's on your team, right? Just scrappy and making life tough for Talia Scott right now.
A whistle blown, and Baylor will get the opportunity to shoot here, as this the 5th team foul against Nebraska. First personal on Bojan. Kayla Nelms, 6'1" sophomore out of Miami, Florida. Oh, how do you feel like Nebraska has managed to do that?
They've taken better care of the basketball. Only 2 turnovers in this quarter, which has been huge. Knocked down those threes, and they've played a bit more through their bigs. They just got their first points in the paint with that Hargrove layup.
Well, the 3 has been kind to Nebraska, not so much for Baylor. The Bears to 12 from deep now as Hargrove tries it on the other side for a little more contact. Bears have missed their last 4, hanging precariously to a 2-point lead. They've led by as many as 11 in this first half. Nebraska has never had the lead. Could that change here?
And speaking of turnovers, that's the 6th turnover for Baylor in this quarter. They've gotten a bit sloppy with the basketball.
Baylor finishing the year 3rd in the Big 12. Had a big showdown with TCU the final day of the regular season as Prince gives the Huskers their first lead of the game.
Lincoln East, that's where we are. Nebraska feels so comfortable shooting the 3 ball in this gym. 6 for 12 today, hit 11 on Wednesday night.
And now the takeaway defensively and an open look down the floor for Petrie. Give her 2 more. And the Huskers loving what they've seen these last few minutes, a 7-0 run. Abraham Inside, finishes as Petrie goes down, no whistle. Baylor needing to show they were ready to fight back, did it on that tough take.
So impressed with Nebraska's fight in this quarter. +9, you played a game 2 days ago, you had a late practice yesterday. I thought they looked tired in the first quarter, but it feels like they found another gear in the second.
Amy Williams urging her team, as you may have heard when we showed you inside the locker room pregame, to play with urgency. They've looked that way. Hit nearly 50% of their threes. Kept Baylor quiet in this quarter. The Bears just 8 points.
With Mississippi State, both those games where they advanced to the second round. So maybe that's just what you're meant to be, to do.
We'll see what unfolds here. This the 5th year, as I correct my math per usual, of the first 4. But it felt like, Kelly, we talked about it at one point through that second quarter. Here, Baylor puts up 19 in the first quarter. They have just 8 in the second quarter. The game got a little messier, a little grittier, and that played to Nebraska's benefit.
And the turnovers from Baylor were a problem in the second quarter. And then with these stars, Talia Scott for Baylor, Britt Prince for Nebraska, both players held in check in the first half. Who can emerge? Who can will their team to a victory here in the NCAA tournament?
Drive to the basket, a foul drawn by the graduate transfer. 10 points, 13 assists, 10 boards back in December.
When you join a list that Brittany Griner is on at Baylor, that means you did something right.
Well executed possession there, and Bojan has her first points of the game.
The Huskers have started to find a way to score in the paint. They had 0 paint points for most of the first half, but they've remedied that.
Britt Prince, a 5'11" sophomore, batting it out of bounds for the block. She hit that big 3. Her only made field goal of the first half, by the way, that put Nebraska in the lead with just about a minute and a half to go, 120 to be exact in the second quarter. Good interior defense being played right now by the Huskers. They're outsized, but you wouldn't know it. A couple of blocks on back-to-back possessions. 10 on the shot clock. Little Paige Buggs got off to a hot start, was scoring early but quiet since, and she lost it on the way up. 1 on the shot clock. Excellent defensive possession there by Nebraska.
Excellent defense by Amaya Hargrove, the sophomore inside, holding her ground at 6'2", giving up a little size to Little Paige Buggs. Quick hands, smart play, and this Nebraska front court has been much better since the first.
Her 4 points from the free throw line, their only points of this quarter so far. Now playing a little defense on Williams. Prince. That's the 3 she needs to see.
I like Nebraska playing Britt Prince off the ball. Let Williams handle the ball, bring it up, deal with the pressure, and let Britt Prince be a scorer. Great pass by Williams.
She is nearly a 46% three-point shooter on the season as Fauntleroy gets a clean, easy look inside. Nisley, her 3 made threes, a big part of Nebraska's push in the first half. Prince steps back, had it blocked. Long arms of the 6'4" Kirsten Johnson making a difference.
Johnson and Abraham for Baylor have shown how versatile they can be defensively.
Little Paige Buggs, she has 6. Oh, Big 12 second team selection, a senior out of Oklahoma City. A little too much contact there in the eyes of the official. Brian Hall, Kevin Sparrett, Kelly Broomfield, our officiating crew.
And here's Kennedy Williams handling the ball, playing those point guard duties, and letting Britt Prince play off the ball, be a scorer, find her for the open look. Little Paige Buggs, known for her toughness inside. I think they need a little more from her, more like that in the second half.
Little Paige Buggs, 6 points, 4 rebounds in the game. She averages a double-double. Only player in the Big 12 in each of the last 2 seasons to average a double-double. She gets called for the foul here. A second ago was Talia Scott picking up her second, and now it is Little Paige Buggs. That's her third.
That's costly, and to pick that foul up 30 feet from the basket on a hand check. That's tough for Little Paige Buggs and a tough development for Baylor.
Sophomore Yu-Ting Dunn back into the game as Little Paige Buggs goes to the bench. Dunn came in, promptly knocked down 2 threes when she entered in the first half. Look at that cut and the pass. Run to perfection as Prince follows through. 10 points in the game now for Britt Prince. And Guytonbeek corner for Williams. Bears have a big advantage on the boards. They're plus 11. Prince beating everybody down the floor.
Williams and Prince have played well together this afternoon. That's 5 assists for Kennedy Williams. She hasn't scored, but that's not her role. She knows she needs to distribute, doing a great job of that.
Williams fell over. That left an open look for Talia Scott. It's been that kind of a day so far for the Bears' leading scorer. They just cannot get it to fall.
Baylor cannot buy a basket right now. They're 2 for 15 from 3. Nebraska 7 for 15 from 3.
7 lead changes in the game. That is obviously a big disparity there that Kelly just pointed out. And Nebraska, maybe Kelly doing just enough on the inside. They weren't getting that inside, those paint touches early. They started to pick a few more of those up as the first half went on.
Callan Hake back in the game for Nebraska with those 3 fouls.
Then Guytonbeek, tough shot. Prince the rebound.
A lot of one-on-one for Baylor on offense.
There's that cut, the pass, not the finish, but the offensive rebound, no! Hargrove just stays with it, playing through the contact like her dad in the NFL.
And they've looked different since.
How about for Baylor? Obviously they want to try to get Scott going. She'll go to the free throw line where she was 0 for 2 in the first half, and this a 90% free throw shooter. So certainly that's one thing, getting her rolling a little bit, but what else are they looking for in this offensive end?
Well, I really like that set from Nicki Collen to get Talia Scott a look in the mid-range where she's not having to create and work so hard for a shot. And it worked, she got to the free throw line, but I think Little Paige Buggs has to be more involved. She has a mismatch. She has the athleticism to go by some of these Nebraska bigs, so when she gets back in the game, she's got to be ready to go. And then Bella Fauntleroy, she's a mismatch problem too at 6 foot. Right now she's playing the 4, can play the 3. She was really aggressive in the first quarter, and we haven't heard much from her since. So I'd love to see her get going.
Yeah, it feels like Baylor has not been able to take advantages of the mismatches that they have, like you just talked about.
They did in the first quarter, and Nebraska, credit their adjustment. I think you've seen a little bit more of Petrie, who's been good inside, and Hargrove has stepped up as well.
Callan Hake, by the way, committed the last foul, and she had to go to the bench with 4 fouls, so that's going to be something key to watch as this one goes along. The emotional heartbeat, the leader, the senior of this Nebraska team, on the bench at the moment.
Great point, Jen. That's going to be tough for Nebraska. You're not going to see her again, most likely until late in the, or at least the second part of the 4th quarter.
Prince was guarding, then Guytonbeek. Scott just off the mark. Look, she talked about feeling confident, being in a rhythm. How, as a shooter, Kelly, or a scorer, as she is a high-volume scorer, do you get that back?
That was such a tough possession because she made a great play to get open, completely faked her defender to come off of that down screen, and had a wide open look from 3, and then you airball it. To me, that is mental right now with Talia Scott, and she has to find that next gear to get past that, what she told us, that she has to be confident for her teammates, for this team to have success.
Nisley going inside to Petrie with the left, yes!
Petrie's come to play. She's been a difference maker for them inside.
Open look, passed up by
Kind of the 12-5 game on the women's side, if you will.
Petrie, the drive. It is a blocking foul. Count the basket.
Close and you're in foul trouble. At this point, it's probably not worth taking the risk to take a charge if it's an in-between.
Done. Turned around. 2 players go down. Both teams frustrated. I do believe that's called against Nebraska and Emily Fisher.
A lot of contact. I think Fisher hooked towards the very end and then pulled Fauntleroy down. But that was close. A lot of contact both ways.
So Bella Fauntleroy, the senior out of Springfield, Missouri, to the free throw line. Missed a couple already at the line today. She's 2 of 4, has 8 points in the game, 6 rebounds. And Baylor continues to leave some points on the board at the line. Largest lead of the game right now for Nebraska. The Huskers looking to extend it. Under 3 to go in the third. Prince had a slow start to the game, started to come on, hit the big go-ahead 3 toward the end of the second quarter. 2 on the shot clock now. Fisher passes it maybe one too many times, out of bounds anyway, in the turnover, the 9th of the game by Nebraska.
Really good defensive possession from Baylor. That was great ball screen defense. I've said it before, but these bigs from Baylor are so versatile in the ball screen. Abraham did a great job when they switched of staying on Prince, making her give the ball up.
Ella Brow, the redshirt junior transfer from SMU, in the game now running the point. Dunn getting into the lane, lost the handle, goes the other way.
Dunn hit those 2 threes in the first quarter very quickly off the bench, but has been quiet since.
Prince getting into the paint. It was touched and it is called a foul. Van Geitenbeek going up, going to camps at Nebraska. Doesn't look an awful lot different there when she started going to camps, and Amy Williams was there keeping her eye on this really talented local young product.
She looks the exact same as she did at Nebraska basketball camp. And how about a block from Britt Prince? We talked to her, Jen, after the win over Richmond. What does it mean to play for the school you grew up loving? What a block from Prince. And she said it means everything to get her first NCAA tournament win at Nebraska. She's just a sophomore, looking to do more damage. I love when you see homegrown kids stay home and play for the school they grew up loving. We saw it last night in the first four with Kimora Johnson, leading Virginia to a win, crying in the post-game interview because of how much it means to her.
That is a big and much-needed 3 by Van Geitenbeek. The Bears had not had a field goal in over 5.5 minutes.
Huge shot from Janet Van Geitenbeek. Baylor trying to see if they can do a little more damage from 3.
Prince. Hargrove working the glass. Done. No. Little Page Bugs, though, on the offensive glass. Can Baylor take a little more advantage there? They're getting the rebounds.
Baylor's got 15 offensive rebounds.
Abraham rolls it all around the rim.
Prince has rebounded the ball well. I know it's just her 4th board, but there's been a few times where you've seen her sky for a rebound inside.
Good defense by Brow. Nebraska Cornhuskers, the 11th seed, looking to become just the second first 4 team to advance to the round of 32. And Britt Prince reigns in the third quarter, doesn't she? 10 points in the third quarter in the first 4 on Wednesday, 11 today. What will the 4th bring for the Huskers, and will the Bears find their way back into it?
And what does Amy Williams say to her at halftime? And what does she eat at halftime? Because whatever it is, it's working. Her third quarters in this tournament have been incredible.
She's left open for three. Bad idea.
Britt Prince trying to become the Queen of March for Nebraska. She has been so good knocking down big threes. She's an incredible three-point shooter, 45% from beyond the arc, making Baylor pay for going under the screen.
Largest lead of the game for Nebraska. And Baylor, you just feel like there's so much potential left untapped. There's a wide open look. Can the Bears get a little more of that? Got to get back on defense. Hargrove does well just to keep it in. The pass a little bit too much out front.
Great catch by Hargrove. Only 3 turnovers for Nebraska in that third quarter. The first quarter was bumpy for them from a turnover perspective, but they've taken much better care of the ball since.
Nisley did a few big threes in the first half, has yet to score in the second. Little Page Bugs. Abraham again left open. Eventually Petrie came over, did just enough. And Geitenbeek, big three.
And Jen, this is where legs come into play for Nebraska. They played in the first 4. They played Wednesday night. Feel like we saw a little fatigue on those last 2 defensive possessions from the Huskers.
Van Geitenbeek, a senior, playing like it out there, hitting some big shots for her team when they need it. Hargrove stuck, has it taken away. Talia Scott not having the offensive game she wants, but gets the steal, had a beautiful leading pass. It's just smacked off the glass by Abraham. Missed opportunity, goodness.
Baylor needed that, and Talia Scott, great defense on Britt Prince, came over, got.
Also consider that Van Geitenbeek just picked up her 4th personal. She's been one of the biggest sparks for this team. She has to go to the bench. So similar situation. Van Geitenbeek on the bench. Hake is on the floor with 4, the senior leader for Nebraska. Hargrove has a one-on-one inside. Fauntleroy stood her ground defensively. Scott. Prince is down on the floor.
She ran right into an Abraham screen. And that was a physical play for Prince.
You can see the composure of Nebraska. Had to fight back. They trailed the majority of the first half. Didn't take the lead till minute 20 to go in the second quarter. That was a tough pass for Petrie to try and catch. And Baylor committing the foul really bailed out the Huskers on that play.
That's a good way of putting it. And Nikki Collins saying, we gotta use our heads. And Abraham, that was a legal screen. You have to, Nebraska's teammates, Britt Prince's teammates, have to call out that screen. They've got to say, screen, 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 on the left, on the left. You cannot let Prince run into a screener like that.
Well, she's picked up her dribble. Petrie lost it. Little Page Bugs leading the break for Baylor. Spins into the paint, goes to her right. Baylor within 2.
Baylor not going away. These seniors not going away for the Bears.
Hake, a senior for Nebraska. Had 14 points in the first 4, just 5 today. Missed the bunny. Fauntleroy, Little Page Bugs couldn't get it. Snatched out of the air by Hargrove. And Scott just refusing to let Prince get it, and then Fauntleroy does commit the foul.
They're face guarding Britt Prince, not letting her get the ball, but you can't pick up the foul there. And Little Page Bugs, she says, I'll take this myself. This is impressive. From the senior, coast to coast, pretty spin move and finish.
7-0 Baylor run to make this a 2-point game. It really had felt like Baylor had more to say in this one. They just, and credit to Nebraska for not allowing it to happen. They just hadn't been able to take advantage. Nebraska trying to advance from the first 4 to the round of 32. Baylor, of course, looking to extend their stay in Durham.
Baylor has to be careful from a foul perspective. Already 3 fouls in the quarter. They're being really aggressive.
How about that shot fake and triple from Petrie?
Petrie has been huge for her team this afternoon.
Scott behind the back, nearly lost it. Williams on the floor, fighting for the basketball tie-up. Possession arrow will keep it on this end with Baylor.
How many times have we seen Kennedy Williams on the floor, and this is beautiful. Pump fake, 1 dribble, and a great job by Petrie. When you pump fake and the defender flies by and you're beyond the 3-point line, stay behind the 3-point line. Take this dribble, sidestep, take the 3. Don't step in and take the mid-range. Really smart from Petrie.
Well, our colleague in the studio, Megan McEwen, knows this Nebraska team well, said Petrie is an X factor. She's been that today for Nebraska. Johnson has her first. Baylor really making it tough, and they do take it away.
That's also a really tough spot to inbound the ball that far down the sideline.
Scott sizing up the defense, waits for them to come. Johnson, DeFont Leroy. 1 point Nebraska lead. Bears have made their last 3 from the floor. Nebraska is led by as many as 9. They've seen that shrink to a single digit. And now the Bears with a chance to retake the lead. Great movement from the Bears. They continue to get good looks on the inside. Foul called on the floor. Some boos raining down from the Nebraska.
4 minutes to go. Who wants it more? Which seniors want it more? And can Baylor find a way to claw back in? They've been doing it for most of the second half. Nebraska was with a great 3rd quarter. Can they find a way?
That free throw from senior Kirsten Johnson ties it. And that is where we'll stay at the moment. Tied at 53, 4 to go. Prince, 19 points in the game to lead the Huskers. Petrie continues to have a massive game, and both players go flying to the floor. 14-6 in the 4th. Scott working on Williams. Doesn't give up any ground. 8 on the shot clock. Then Geitenbeek has to pull it back out. Now pass it. Little Page Bugs. Contact. Foul. Baylor shooting free throws. And that is 5 on Petrie.
Makes the unobserved foul even more important because that was her 4th. This is a great pass by Jana Van Geitenbeek. And Little Page Bugs goes up with it.
8-0 Baylor run to take this 3-point lead. Britt Prince had a huge 3rd quarter for Nebraska. Just 3 points so far in the 4th. 7 on the shot clock. Prince with the ball in her hands. Thought about the shot. Kept on going, looking for contact, and was able to draw it. 3rd personal on Scott.
Britt Prince has been so good in this game, and Scott with just enough contact on the arm right in front of the official, too, to call the foul.
Third personal on Scott. Prince 4 of 4 at the line. At a stretch this season where she hit a school record 56 straight free throws.
That is insane.
So to say she steps up there with some confidence, an understatement. None bigger than those two right now. Her season on the line, her team clawing closer after having the lead in this game, as many as 9 points, now down 1. Little Paige Bugs, big shot.
Tough shot from Little Paige Bugs. The fadeaway, massive bucket.
Prince has to pass it off. Take 5 points in the game for the senior. Hargrove, shot fakes, drives, and Little Paige Bugs all over it on both ends of the floor, but they'll say she walked. 15th turnover by the Bears.
She did everything right until she passed, when she was about to pass that ball. Great defense, grabs the rebound, and then the travel turned it back over to Nebraska.
You could see her immediately hitting her chest, saying, my bad. Taking ownership, Prince taking ownership, and Abraham thought she had that block clean. Instead, it's called a foul.
Whistles in this fourth quarter. It looks pretty clean to me.
And that is the 5th team foul on Baylor. This is a shooting foul, so Prince would be up there anyway, but from here on out, any foul is going to put Nebraska on the line.
Nebraska also a 79% free throw shooting team. That's what you want when you are in the bonus down the stretch. Fourth quarter of the NCAA tournament.
A little extra rattle to draw the gas from the crowd, but it falls through anyway. Back to a 1-point Baylor advantage. Winner of this game gets the Duke Blue Devils, the 3 seed here. Prince working on Abraham, gets past her, puts it off the glass and in.
That's a mismatch. Abraham has been very solid when switched onto Prince and switched onto a guard this afternoon, but that time Prince using her speed, getting to the rim.
25 points in the game for the sophomore. And a foul called against Nebraska before this play really gets going.
Baylor trusts their bigs in a lot of these defensive situations, but that was just good offense from Britt Prince. The quick in and out, going to her strong side, getting past Abraham.
What a tournament for Britt Prince. 22 in the first 4 on Wednesday, 25 today. Is there more to come?
Only a sophomore.
Little Paige Bugs, a senior, on the line for Baylor. 6 points in this fourth quarter. She has really come alive when her team has needed her most. She is a rebound away from another double-double. And puts Baylor back in front by 3. And you wonder, does it have to be someone other than Britt Prince to carry the load offensively? This illegal screen isn't going to help. Nisley getting called for the foul, turns the ball over to the Bears.
It's Hargrove, moving screen on Hargrove. When you set the screen, you have to stay set. You cannot extend that hip or extend the leg.
Fourth personal on Hargrove. intensity level at its peak here with just over a minute to play in the fourth quarter of this first round matchup. The Baylor Bears have come alive in the fourth after a quiet third quarter. Oh, wow. We're going to say Fauntleroy, the senior, stepped on the line.
I said the only thing Baylor needed to do was not turn the ball over on that possession, and they turned the ball over before they even inbounded it.
Sometimes things can get a little ugly. Can you find a way to fight your way through them? Have a short memory? Look, Talia Scott's been doing that
well in this building, and today they're 9 for 20 from beyond the arc with 21 seconds. I'm generally the person that says you don't need a three. I think you need to draw something for a three here. Then you go rebound, see if you can get an offensive board and get some points out of it. But down 5 with 21 seconds to go because you